Okay, and we are live. Great. Hi, everybody. I'm Cory, one of the co-founders of Dogly, and I think everybody knows me. And today I am super excited because we have Anne Carlson here, who is the founder of Jiminy's, recently joined Dogly, and I am super, super excited to chat, not only to chat, but like to have you obviously as a part of Dogly. So thank you so much for coming on the chat. And I know that you have a couple special friends with you today. Who do we have with you?
Are here. This one sitting next to me is Tuco, and he knows I've got treats, so he's really excited. And Derby, can you see Derby?
I think she's still sleeping, maybe lying down. That's all right. When we see. Oh, there she is.
She'll get up at some point and join us.
They're so cute. Amazing. Well, awesome. Well, I would love to dive in because I know. So when we first started chatting and we met, I obviously did not know very much about crickets. I knew that they existed. I knew they were a bug, but I never thought about them to give to my dogs. And I didn't know any of the benefits or anything about them. And I think a lot of people, when we think about like giving our dogs treats with crickets in them, we're like, oh, that sounds kind of weird. Like, what is that all about? So I would love to just like start out with a general of like, why crickets?
Sure. I know it seems like an odd thing, but I learned about it because there was a UN study that talked about feeding or eating insects could be the way to feed the world. And I got intrigued learning about it, and I started digging in on crickets in particular. They are really the gateway bug. It's the one that is, it's easy to
hilarious.
There's t-shirts that say that too.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And what's so great about the cricket protein is that not only is it sustainable, and that's really a primary reason why we're going in this direction. It's also humane, but the nutrition is amazing. It is super high protein, but we call it a superfood because it goes way beyond just protein. It also has fiber, and it has iron and vitamin B2 and B12, and sort of the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm. And so is that like when I hear the word superfood kind of like thrown around a lot? So when we think about superfood for humans, it's the same sort of thing, right? For dogs, that like there's like crickets are one of like the best types of proteins that we could be giving our dogs, it sounds like.
Yeah, when I say superfood, I'm just thinking of something that has more benefit than just protein.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you think about most protein sources, it's protein, it's fat. That's kind of what you're getting. But with the crickets, you get so much more because we're roasting and grinding the entire insect. So actually, there's no waste too, which is another nice benefit. But with that, you're getting all of these additional minerals and essential the amino acids and omegas and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And so when we've talked about crickets before, and I think everybody, it's a journey in the cricket acceptance level. Like I know when we first started chatting, I was like, okay, I'm like, let's learn and let's like see what this is really all about. And when you really get into it, it's so not only thinking about it from like it's good for the planet and having a different type of protein and food to be giving to your dogs, but also like we hear from so many pet parents who have their dogs have allergies, and they're constantly trying to figure out, is it chicken? Is it like, what am I giving them that is causing their, skin allergies or itchiness or whatever. Yeah, and so can you talk a little bit, we've obviously talked about it, but can you talk a little bit about the like why crickets are such a great alternative for people with or dogs with allergies?
Well, a lot of those other protein sources have been overused. And so the dogs have developed these sensitivities. Some actually have allergies, a lot just have sensitivities, but either way, the dog's not, it's not as healthy as it could be. And the nice thing about the cricket protein is it's a protein source that they really haven't had much of. We haven't seen any dogs that have an allergy to it. In fact, we're working with several vets. One of the vets here, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and one of them is using our treats when she does elimination diets. Elimination diet is when they're trying to narrow it down and figure out what is the thing that that dog is allergic to. And a lot of times when they're doing that, the person goes home and follows the diet, you know, to the letter, but then they give them their old treats and then they blow it because the treat.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So she recommends our treats as the treat to use when you're going through that process. So it is hypoallergenic, and that's a great benefit as well.
Yeah, so it's a good baseline for dogs, like, because that's what, like, oops, did I just lose my video?
Still see you.
You can see me still?
I can see you.
Perfect. I can see myself. That's great. Anyway, so yeah, just getting back to the hypoallergenic benefits. So like for my dog Bosley, he's not actually allergic to chicken, but we're staying away from it. He's sort of, he's got like a sensitive, funky tummy. So we have been sort of going through that process of like figuring it out. And we started with chicken because chicken oddly seems to be, I don't know if you hear it a lot, but it seems to be like the most common thing that people are seeing that their dogs are sensitive to or have an allergy to.
Well, it's the most used protein source right now.
And so that's why, so it's because it's the most used that it's like, there's no variety. So they're getting it so much and then they develop this allergy to it.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem. So the dogs, hello, Kirby.
Quick sound effects in the back.
Yeah, so that basically is one of the reasons why, because it's just overuse of this one protein source.
And she's so cute. Yeah, so amazing. Yeah, so from a hypoallergenic standpoint, and even for dogs, like, that it's not necessarily chicken or like whatever it is, to introduce, we talked about last week with Greg from Animal Essentials, we were talking about variety and that it's always good to be, changing things up from a diet perspective with your dog. So to be adding crickets in is another, like just another, different source of protein and things like that you can be introducing into your dog's diet, so like they get out of that like monotony of like, oh, it's like always beef or always the same, whether it's kibble or raw, whatever you're feeding. I think great to introduce something new.
And what we've done with the recipes is we've also done them so that they work even if your dog has a different kind of allergy. There's a lot of people that are doing grain-free, and our biscuits are all grain-free. Our new soft and chewy treat, it's the one in the green bag.
Yes, I love the training treat.
Yeah, the training treats are awesome. Oats, but it's a very purposeful grain, and that's the only grain that's included in it. And I love oats. I think oats are one of the good grains.
Yeah,
so
totally.
So everything is purposeful as far as which ingredients we're pairing the cricket protein with.
Yeah. And so can you talk a little bit, so like starting to grasp crickets, can you talk a little bit about the process? Like how are your treats made?
Okay. Well, it depends on the type of treat. So right now we have biscuits. We launched with biscuits, and now we've introduced a soft and chewy as well. And the biscuits, they're really wholesome. They're actually baked biscuits. And let's see if you can see this. Can you see the treats?
I can, yes.
Like a normal treat.
Yep. I have some with me too.
You. So we start with the cricket protein, and the cricket protein, when we get it, the crickets have been roasted and ground into a powder. It's a very fine powder, and we're actually baking with it like you would bake with a flour.
Hmm.
And the kinds of ingredients, like this one I'm holding is the sweet potato and an apple recipe. We also have peanut butter and blueberries, so we're using antioxidants and great ingredients. This one also has like flaxseed and peanut butter included as well. They're just ingredients that come together really nicely and taste delicious. That's it.
I love all these examples. These are so great. When I take Boz for a walk, I just like put one in my pocket, and he like always, I'm surprised he's not like jumping up and down right now, but he always can like hear the crinkle in my pocket and knows that they have the good stuff.
Yeah, and it is great. I like the little trial size. They're designed so that somebody can try it out with their dog.
Yep.
Kind of a risk-free way to be able to try it with your dog to make sure that your dog likes it.
Yeah, I can't imagine a dog not. I mean, in like I mean, I don't. Bosley is completely obsessed with them, and I love. My favorite part is that they're all like things that you know.
Yeah,
like it's not. I hate that. Nothing annoys me more or upsets me more when I flip over a bag of something and you like get bored reading because there's so many ingredients that you have no idea what they are.
Yeah, and you can't pronounce them and all of that kind of thing.
So I love how simple this is.
On these, the biscuits, 85% of what's in the bag is on the front of the bag. We think it's really important to be upfront with what's in the product.
Yep, love that. Amazing. And so from like, maybe this is a dumb question. So crickets are farmed just like there's cricket farms, just like there's chicken farms.
Yeah, but they're indoors, so they're farmed in barns. But and the way it works is they're kind of free range within an area, and it's the conditions that they love. So that's one of the reasons why it's humane. They're free range. They live together. They're a swarming species, so they like to live together. They have these things that they call cricket condos, and they're like little, almost think like an egg crate where they can go up and down between the levels.
That's awesome.
It's actually really cute when you see it.
That's so funny.
And they get to live 80% of their natural life, which is pretty amazing. And when they're harvested, you basically lower the temperature and they go into hibernation, and so they're actually harvested while they're asleep.
Huh. Wow. So it's like the nicest experience.
Yeah. And this is really important too, because I believe that using an animal protein is really important. So the crickets, they're a small animal, but they are an animal. And what that means is that we have a complete protein. It has all of the essential amino acids. And that's really important for your pup because, these guys are athletes and they've got little micro tears in their muscles, and you need that to be able to repair those muscles. So I think it's extremely important as you're developing treats and food for your pet.
And I was just remembering that you have this great graphic where you compare crickets to beef to chicken.
Yep.
In terms of protein levels and kind of like bang for your buck or whatever the right phrase is.
We have it on the back of the bag, and depending on the bag, it's a little bit different format. But here we'll compare it to both beef and chicken. And the thing that is cool is the top part is a nutrition comparison, and then the bottom part is a sustainability comparison. And the cricket uses exponentially less land, water, feed, and there's hardly any greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, if you compare this one bag of our treats to the same size bag of a beef treat, we've saved 250 gallons of water with this one bag of treats.
Wow.
Pretty amazing.
I'm just giving Boz a treat. He decided to
woke up,
grab himself and come over for a good Jiminy's treat. Yep. That's I'm like a super fan, but I love, number one, that it's good for the environment, but then number two, that like literally you can like visualize how much more how much more of like all of the good things that your dog needs is in this like tiny, from this like tiny little bug, and then in these like great crumbly little treats.
Yeah, the little Trump treat. And it's kind of funny because there's actually 5 crickets in this little treat.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so great. And there's no, like, from obviously we don't want to be like over treating, but like.
So I'm careful about that. So I actually measure my dog's food and all that kind of stuff. But these treats are low calories. So the treats I've been giving, these are less than 10 calories a treat. The training treats are actually less than 3 calories a treat.
Wow.
That's really important because when you're training, it might take as many as 100 repetitions to get the dog to learn what you're trying to teach him. And you need it to be really low calorie in order to do that.
Yeah. And they're a different texture.
Yeah, they're soft and chewy.
Yeah.
So the training treat is really designed for that training. It's a functional design.
Yeah. And the other ones are more like they're a little bit bigger and like feel like almost like more crumbly.
Yeah, more like a cookie.
Yeah.
Cookie and then soft and chewy.
Yeah, that's great. Amazing. Well, I think I have covered all of my questions. I mean, from my perspective, I already told you, but I love these so much. I'm so excited that you're a part of Dogly. For everybody that's watching, we're going to have 10% off of all Jiminy's amazing treats for 48 hours, starting like now. So we have some links in the comments here so you guys can go check it out. There's Bosley in the background, right on cue. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and chatting. And I love doing this because I feel so lucky when we get to chat and, you know, like on the phone or whatever. And so to be able to like share you and, you know, everything that you're doing and the reasons that you're doing it, I think is incredible. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Cory.
All right. Bye, everybody. Talk to you soon.